Hi again then guys, and welcome to of course another speed build, obviously for Forza Horizon 4, but this time we're taking a bit of a break from the world of race cars and supercars just to tune something with a bit more of a cult classic kind of appeal, the Ford Sierra RS500. Now I wasn't sure how good this one would be, because sometimes with these iconic cars, these homologation style vehicles, they can be great, and sometimes they can be underwhelming. The Ford RS200, for instance, is not that impressive in this game for top speed despite having a ton of power. This one, on the other hand, it's monstrous, as you can see from the thumbnail. Now, as far as the tuning goes, you do have a lot of options to work with, especially when it comes to stuff like the visual tuning, like removing the wing, swapping the engine, all that kind of stuff. Now, if you want to get this tune without having to do anything yourself, you can grab it straight from my storefront. So just use my gamer tag or the keywords down below to find it. You'll get it really easily, and you'll get the specs that you can see here. 2.3 seconds to 60, 4.8 seconds to 100, 265 miles per hour. I was worried it might not hit 220, so that is amazingly good. It's certainly as good as a car as iconic as this deserves to be in a game that has a lot of unrealistic top speeds. So, as far as the upgrades go, as I was saying, I would strongly recommend all-wheel drive because it makes a huge difference to putting the power down. Of course it's better off-road, etc, etc. But as far as the engine, I've actually fitted it with, I believe it's the 5.8 litre supercharged Shelby GT500 Mustang engine, which is kind of appropriate for the brand. It's the second to last engine before the Rally one, and it gives you the best power, basically. Now, the other V8, which if I recall, I think is a Chevy V8, I think you have as an option as well, that one can also go over 1,000, but this one's better. Now, as far as the gearing goes, because of course for the rest, you pretty much know the drill, fit your racing tyres, drop the weight as much as you can. You could fit the roll cage if you want to, but you don't have to. Fit your brakes, transmission, diff, all that kind of stuff, race, spec, everything. The only thing that you don't want to fit is the front or the rear racing wing. Now, as far as the gearbox, it really is that final drive that makes a massive difference to the top speed, because when you fully tune it and take it into the shop here, it does like 180. So changing that final drive alone makes a massive difference. So you want to put that all the way down to 2.4. Then for the individual gears, 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.18, 0.96 and 0.77. As far as alignment, as I said, we do have all-wheel drive, so I'd recommend neutral, camber and tow, 4 degrees of caster. You could take that down to 1 if you want to, because obviously the car wasn't designed to go anywhere near this fast, so higher end speed does get a little bit heavy. As far as anti-roll, those are on 35 and 25, springs on 115, 125, and the lowest ride height on the front and the back. Dampers on 12 and 6, aero doesn't apply, and as far as the diff, I would recommend 100% on both acceleration and braking, or acceleration and deceleration in other words, and I've opted for 70% on the centre split. Now technically, if you take it down to like 65%, you can kind of improve the numbers a little bit, but it makes it heavier through corners, and vice versa, you could take it up to like 75% to make it a little bit more loose, but you will lose some acceleration as you can see off the line. So that's why I've opted for 70. It's kind of the middle ground between the two. Having 30% to the front end is more than good enough for great launch, and also good off-road ability as well, basically. So that's it for the tune. As I said, it is on my storefront, but what remains is to put it in a race to see if it can actually go that fast. Now, as I've said about a couple of other cars of this kind of style, where they're not intended to go anywhere near this quick, the top-end acceleration does get a little bit more sluggish, but considering how long the gears are, that's not too surprising. You can get up around 250 very easily, and then it's just the last, say, 15 miles per hour or so that it gets a little bit slower. But, as you can see from the race, we got it up to 264. 265 is, I would say, pretty much guaranteed if you can get a perfect straight run, but still, it's close enough to that benchmark to be very impressive. So if you do use this against friends who don't know how to tune, you'll destroy them as far as straight line speed. So grab it from my storefront or use it from here, and of course click here on screen to see all of my other tunes. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.